Greetings to you, and once again, welcome to another edition of Community Forum. Glad to have you along. I wish I could give shout outs to all of those who actually subscribed, and many of those who I asked, just on the trust basis alone, you subscribed, and I really appreciate it. I don't come to waste your time, and I don't ask you to subscribe to waste time. Again, I have a lot of information. Just have to get a little bit settled in there, and then I can upload that particular information that I think you would like. It's really informative, and it has substance, and that's what I want to give to you. Some of my videos have been taken down, so I have to be careful about what I say or what I don't say, whatever. But I'm going to keep on pumping out information. I'm grateful to YouTube for giving such a platform to many of us. There's a lot of content on YouTube I don't particularly care for, but everyone have their liking, and that's the way it is, and it should be. But I wanted to go over one of the videos that was taken down. I want to kind of fine tune it and give it to you again. First, let me just put out a disclaimer. Well, it's going to be called the Great Resignation or Artificial Intelligence. But let me just put out a disclaimer first. I'm very spiritual, and I do live a particular way of life. Not perfect by far, but I do that. And I have a guide, and I have a teacher that I study, that I think is a great teacher for myself and possibly for you too. But let me just put out a disclaimer here. I of myself, me, I've heard this said, I believe it's in one of the scriptures in the Bible, but I read a bunch of different books on religion or religious books, whether it be Bible, whether it be the Injil, whether it be Quran, or whatever it is. I try to study across the board so I can get the best out of all of them. So I'm a believer in God, no question about that, which many call by many names. But in any case, for the sake of this, I'll use the one named God, because we all, know that terminology. But I was reading something at one point in time, is I of myself can do nothing, but whatsoever the Father wills me to do, that shall I do. And so, me personally, whatever mistakes or errors that are made, I own them, and I apologize for them. Okay? Those are my mistakes. Those are my errors. But all good has a source, and I'm a student of a marvelous teacher from that source, which in due time I will fully introduce to you. I'm introducing that teacher to you each time I come on. But I was taught that when you're in the baby stages, as such as this community forum is, you give it milk, because if you give it meat, the baby will choke. So you give it milk in the beginning stages, and then as it develops and grows, then at a certain point in time, you can give it a full course meal. And that's my intentions, to give you the full course meal. So again, like I said, I'm a vessel. I study, I learn, and then I give or regurgitate, if you will, what I've learned. Let's get right in. So I wanted to put that disclaimer out, because if anybody thought that it was of me, no, it's not. No, I couldn't take the credit, and I would be a thief and a robber to do so. We stand on the foundation, and basically I, as everyone else, stand on a foundation also, a strong one. You know, how strong is it, and can we survive? We can if we're standing on the correct foundation. It's surely built. But I want to talk about the Great Resignation and how does it tie into artificial intelligence and the obsolescence of humans. What is AI? Artificial intelligence, or AI, it stimulates human intellect to machines. And then you have AI-enabled machines, which are capable of performing specific tasks better than humans and mimic human actions. There are currently 4 types of artificial intelligence, or AI. There's the reactive machines. Then there is one, or AI, called limited memory. Then there's theory of mind. And then the 4th one is self-aware AI. And I want to go through these briefly, but I would ask you to go and study this. The reactive machines is the most is that AI at its most superficial level. And they do and perform basic operations. Limited memory, this AI can store existing data and create better output by using the data or the data. And for example, you would see this in Tesla's self-driving cars. That's limited memory. Then there's theory of mind. And the theory of mind can connect with human thoughts and interpret them better. Yeah. They can understand people and have thoughts and emotions of its own. And then there's the self-aware AI. And again, this type of AI have independent intelligence, and it will be able to make its own decisions. These machines will be smarter, so they say, than the human mind. Think about that. 4 types. What are the 4 types? Anyway, AI, all of it, is run by data which is collected from humans. So when you give your fingerprint or face print recognition, it's collected and stored into a federal data bank. Smartphones is another form of where they collect, or another tool that is used to collect data on us. In 2010, the Google CEO said, "We know where you are, where you've been. And based on what we know, we even know your thoughts." It's in 2010. Elon Musk, you know who Elon is, the tech giant. In an October 2021 interview by the New York Times, placed in the New York Times, giving you the source so you can go check it out, he stated that humans could be replaced by artificial intelligence within 5 years. The collection of data is not only to feed AI, but to control population growth. Think about this. And he said in 5 years, we could be replaced. What is a robot? A robot is a machine that is capable of carrying out specific tasks automatically. It can replicate human efforts and provide better outcomes. I want you to think over these terms. And what is an AI-enabled robot? That which can navigate, sense, and monitor their actions through computerized vision. These type of robots, they can learn on their own and calculate their reactions accordingly. Industry experts such as Fortune have stated that robots will replace 40% of jobs in the next 15 years. Some have stated sooner. by 2030. Check this out. According to a report from the World Economic Forum, 85 million, what was that? 85 million jobs will be replaced by machines with AI or artificial intelligence by the year 2025. So we're currently at the end of 2021. So within a 4-year span, 85 million jobs or 85 million people will not be needed. I just want you to think over these things as we go through it. So you and I can go and continue to go to college, and I'm not discouraging you from not going. I think it's a marvelous thing and a wonderful thing that if you do go, but you can go to upgrade your skill, but college is a big business. It is. Think about this. In the U.S. where I'm at, President Biden, our current president, had stated that he would reduce the debt of student loan borrowers, he said, by at least $10,000 each. But he hasn't done it. And I don't think his intentions are to do it, even though I'm hopeful that he will. And yet you have Congresswoman Cortez, or as they call her, affectionately known as AOC, said it should be eliminated altogether. I agree with her. I mean, and I learned, I didn't know this, but in some countries, you not only have to pay a tuition to learn, to advance that society, civilization, but then at or upon your graduation, you have to give back a year to the country free of charge. This is, hopefully I understood it correct, but I don't understand. I like the model that Cuba used. Free healthcare, free education, because you advance in your own society. So why would you charge tuition? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. I think that healthcare and I think that education should be free. I really do. But unfortunately, I don't live in that type of society. Maybe one day we will have it here. I don't know. Or maybe I should just move to Cuba, right? I have to tighten up on my Spanish. Habla español. But anyway, these are the jobs that are currently being replaced. Customer service, bookkeeping and data entry, manufacturing and pharmaceutical work, receptionist, courier, proofreading, taxi and bus drivers, security guards / police, cashiers, retail sales, market research analysts. You got a marketing degree? Might be useless. Soldiers, your army, yeah, being replaced. Why send some men over here or there when you can just drop a bomb? I mean, but they have even machines that can sniff bombs out. Doctors, they have the intelligence to now perform surgery, AI intelligence. Judges, they have the intelligence to actually judge over cases. This is artificial intelligence. So now you have to look at, will robots replace humans? And they're continuously being developed and are learning to adapt into their environment. This is artificial intelligence. So now, what happens to those who will no longer have a job? They've become obsolete. And as a result of AI, now look, you have clothing, you have furniture, you have things in your life that become obsolete. And once it becomes obsolete, what do you do with it? You get rid of it. You throw it away. It's no longer of use. The same thing is done with people. Get rid of it, throw it away, is no longer of use. You currently have 7.9 billion people on the planet Earth today, and they want to eliminate, by some rough estimates, 2 to 3 billion people out of the 7.9 billion that are here. You have 196,940,000 square miles, 139,685,000 square miles of water, and out of that, land mass is 57,255,000 square miles. And out of the 57,255,000 square miles, are you saying to me that 2 to 3 billion people must be eliminated? I can't make this stuff up. So the data that's being collected will help depopulate the earth. They already said they know our thinking. In 2010, Bill Gates, Bill Gates, said in an interview to TED, TED, they organize interviews, very popular organization, and they have a lot of interesting interviews. I would even encourage you to go check some of them out. But Bill Gates said, first, this is his interview, check it out. First, we've got population. He said the world, this in 2010, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion, he said at that time. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, according to him, this is a quote from Bill Gates, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 to 15%. Think about that. I want that to swirl in your mind. Bill Gates, 2010, this is what he says. Want to eliminate the pot? I mean, how do you deem that? But murder, kill, I mean, okay. It was David Rockefeller, September 23rd of 1994, who said, we are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis and the nations will accept the new world order. That's from Mr. Rockefeller. It was Henry Kissinger. Some call it the Kissinger Report, but it's called NSSM-200. Go look it up. Or the implication of world population growth, that propose a reduction in population. How else are you going to do that? It was President Carter's National Security Advisor, Zbigniew Brzezinski, a Polish American, who said it is much easier to eliminate 2 to 3 billion people as opposed to controlling them. Now, how else are you going to do that? See, this is why you have to be careful, because some have proposed through food, they have mind-controlling drugs, and we'll get into that at a later date on the food thing. But let's try to close this on out. So now, what happens? Introducing Disease X. Disease X is a placeholder name that was adopted by the WHO, or World Health Organization, in February of 2018. Some believe Disease X is the coronavirus, or the first stage of it. which if it is, then if you have a virus, it justifies what? A cure through perhaps a shot, right? You want to cure it, so you have to get shot, right? Okay. A study by Microsoft found that 41% of the global workforce would consider leaving their current employer within the next year. And a poll from Monster reports that 95% of workers are at least contemplating a job change. So now we jump from what was said about introducing the disease, and now we're going to link, because all I'm doing is linking or connecting the dots to now where these people are absolutely coming off of their job. And why are they coming off of their job? CNBC reported that a record 4.4 million here in America people quit in September as Great Resignation shows no signs of slowing down. 4.4 million in September, and I believe it was 4.2 million in August. Quitting their jobs, walking off. Some reported, the majority reported they walked off because of a burnout. 20% said, well, I need more flexibility, and 16% said, well, there's no loyalty. Well, how do you replace that labor? Some turn to freelance. Some turn their jobs, hobbies into jobs. Some are doing cryptocurrency, as you may be doing. Then 1.4 million of them, of the 4 million, just went and started up their own business. And I like that, because you're learning to stop working for the dollar and make the dollar work for you. Turn your passion into a profit. And out of that total that left, that 4.4 that left, and we're coming to an end, 5% of them were in the age gap range of the baby boomers. 31% is considered Generation X. 50% are millennials. And 80% of that left is Generation X. In the US, there are currently 10 million job openings. How will the gap be filled? By who? What about the other countries or continents, such as Africa, Asia, Europe, South America, Australia, Antarctica? What about those countries? If you're a business, is it cheaper, more efficient, and effective to replace this resignation with human labor or artificial intelligence? And as former President Trump said and labeled the current president as President Biden as Sleepy Joe, but the real sleep is on us. We're the ones that are really asleep. And we're in the beginning stages. The skills that we have become obsolete. Your degree that you have is becoming obsolete. The college that you went to, the education, obsolete. When a thing becomes obsolete, you just get rid of it. And I was taught that you have to be worth something in order to be saved. Now, there are certain people who are hoarders, but businesses are not in business to be hoarders. They exist to make money, wealth. So you figure if AI, according to Forbes magazine, it can prepare cases, it can make sound judgments, it can do many things that humans do, and these people are resigning, then AI is in place to replace human labor or the workforce. What is your worth if you've become obsolete to perform business functions? What is your worth? What are you worth? This is deep. This is really deep. The intelligence, AI intelligence is so high in technology in replacing people that it can absolutely introduce you to your lover. It can match. The intelligence matches artificial intelligence with synthetic intimacy. They call them sex robots. These sex robots, they can respond to touch, they talk, they have artificial emotional intimacy, physical intimacy. Sex robots. Yeah. So you can imagine some, I don't know, pretty woman. In my case, it would be. Or if you're a woman, handsome man, you got the money to pay for it, have it fit. I mean, it's absurd. It's absurd. This game called Roblox, I didn't know initially, but this is all a part of artificial intelligence. Yeah, I drunk that juice too. They're targeting our youth now. And unfortunately, most of us are so blind we don't see it. AI is real. We've become obsolete and a burden. And did you know that under the PrEP Act here in the United States, the pharmaceutical companies have total immunity from any harmful effects as a result of a shot? So, go look it up. You can't sue and win. Yeah. But there's a holistic approach to healing and protecting the immune system. Prepare your food. Stop eating out, particularly at these fast food death camps that you call restaurants. Save the few dollars that you have. If you're living single like me, get together with 6 to 8 like-minded people and purchase land to build on to feed yourself and your family. Land is the basis of economic freedom. Or freedom, period. Not just economically. Our best defense is nature's way of healing. Bathe in the sunlight and get some natural essential vitamins, minerals from the sun ray. We are natural, a natural people to the sun. You're not going to catch cancer by bathing in the sun. Go do it once a year. Bathe in the sun. Unclothe and bathe. Let that sunlight hit you. It will ward off many diseases, including the current one, I believe. And this is not to say to throw away medical science or medicine as it's practiced today, but some of the information that we're getting is faulty. Can you imagine Johnson & Johnson, who was sued over baby powder that caused cancer, giving them another chance to mess up again? I'm just saying, how do you combat this? It takes more than faith in God. Faith without works is dead. That's what it says. But indeed, it's going to take the hand of God and some common sense. It's our unity that's our greatest defense. Preventive medicine. Go back to the father of medicine, Imhotep. Yes. But this fratricidal strife and egregious acts that we commit on each other, it has to stop. Settle whatever differences that you have with family members and friends. Learn to atone. Thank you for hanging out with me. I stayed much longer than my time, but I hope that I did some justice in going through this. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the bell, the notification bell. Click like. And I guess that's it for now. Thank you once again. Be safe. Protect yourself, your family. And as I leave you, hoping to see you again, peace.